6 months ago, almost no one could have predicted the situation that we're facing right now. We're almost through the month of June. We've been in at least 3 months of lockdown, and while things are beginning to loosen up, we don't know exactly when all of this will end. And this lockdown has us all on edge. In fact, anxiety has gotten to be a huge problem in Wales and in the rest of the UK. And anxiety is a difficult problem to face. It has a way of getting on top of you. One person I read about described their anxiety as a tornado, a giant vortex of unrelenting stress and confusion. Maybe you feel like each morning you wake up to that kind of a tornado. For other people, anxiety can be like a dark cloud that just hangs over you and presses in on everything you're doing and everything you're thinking about. Well, if you're not a religious person, I assume it's because you don't think that there's anything worthwhile in Christianity or in the Bible. Nothing there that will help you. But let me ask you a question. Have you found anything that will give you lasting joy and peace? Most people haven't. Why not consider what the Bible has to say to you about your life? Because the Bible has a lot to say about anxiety. Now, fear is just another word for anxiety. We all face a lot of fears in our lives. And one of the most frequent things that God says in the Bible is, don't be afraid, or fear not. The Bible is full of stories about people like us who face problems, the problems that you face when you live in a world that doesn't work as it should. And God comes to them and helps them. He enters into their life, enters into their story, and gives them the help that they need. In fact, the book of Psalms, which is a book of songs in the Bible, often speaks of suffering and difficulty. And just this past Sunday, on the 28th of June, we considered what it means to pray in desperation to God for help. And in that psalm, the writer says this, "My soul is in deep anguish. How long, O Lord? How long?" You find yourself asking that question about your problems? How long will this go on? Well, there are people in the Bible who ask those same questions. Later in that same song, the author says, "I'm worn out from my groaning. All night long I flood my bed with weeping." See, people in the Bible who have come to know God are no strangers to suffering and weeping and groaning. So you're not alone. Your kind of anxiety is not a new thing. And have you wondered, is God interested in your fear and anxiety? Well, the answer is yes, He is. The Bible shows that God is interested in suffering people. And He shows that by sending His Son, Jesus Christ. Jesus, whose life is featured in the New Testament, in the Gospel of Matthew and Mark and Luke and John, He said to His hearers, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Now, what Jesus did to be able to keep that promise is a subject for another video, but I'll just say this, it is connected to His death on the cross. And He invites people to come to Him who feel like they are laboring and heavy laden, and He promises rest to them. Let me encourage you to find out for yourself what Jesus is like. Get a Bible and turn to the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and read about the life of Jesus. There you will find stories about what He taught, what He said, what He did, and they're all based on eyewitness accounts of people who knew Him and walked with Him and saw the events of His life. If you'd like to know more, feel free to get in contact with us. The contact details are on the screen. Let me encourage you to watch an earlier video from our YouTube channel, particularly the one on the 28th of June about praying in desperation. Thank you for watching this video. Stay safe.